Hi everyone and welcome back to Israel in Style. I'm Emmanuel Kadosh here to bring you all the latest updates in Israeli fashion, culture, and lifestyle. On today's episode, I'm going to be taking a walk down memory lane and show you guys the best of the best from the last few months here on Israel in Style. We've had so many guests here on the show, from world-famous Israeli designers, Israeli celebrities, chefs, bloggers, you name it, we've done it. So why not take a second to reminisce on all those extraordinary moments? To kick off today's throwback episode, ever heard of the organization that sends international bloggers to the Holy Land? We'll take a look at my sit-down with the founder of Vibe Israel. So I've been following along the Vibe Israel nonprofit organization for months now and wanted them to come in and explain to you about the creative and positive ways they share Israel's story through online influencers. So with me today is the founder and CEO of Vibe Israel, Joanna Landau. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So why don't you tell everybody what Vibe Israel is and what the main mission is, what the main goal is?
So Vibe Israel is a nonprofit organization, but we're really part of a school of thought that countries around the world have global reputations, and those reputations need to be managed. Most countries have a whole process, there's a strategy, and they put it in place in order to connect people to them. Israel, unfortunately, is not quite going in that direction.
Their nation branding is a little off.
Bit. Well, it's actually just very, very, very narrow. It's talking mostly about the conflict.
Right.
And it's trying to explain Israel. And I believe that Israel doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be actually exposed. The culture, the business, everything that's really interesting, particularly for the millennial generation, with whom Israel is not really having a conversation.
Right.
And so I established the organization about 8 years ago in order to promote Israel directly through social media to the millennial generation that by 2025 are going to represent 75% of the global workforce. So it's pretty much everyone.
So it's pretty much you're going through the right target audience that you guys are going to eventually, you know, lead up to being the ones that are going to control everything, the ones that are going to influence everything, you know.
We hope so.
We would like to think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, a lot of millennials aren't really interested in hearing about the conflict. They're not, you know, they're looking for a fun way to kind of experience a new country, and you guys are doing that through tours, right?
Right.
So what are some tours, some examples of tours that you guys have done?
So we're doing it basically by bringing people to Israel. So it's tours, it's events that are taking place in Israel, it's campaigns that we do, social media campaigns, but it always has an offline element. We do 8 tours a year that focus on different topics of interest that have very large online communities. Most recent tour that we just did was on the topic of beauty.
Right, the Vibe Beauty, right?
Right.
So what does that look like for people that don't know?
So basically what we do is we decide on a topic that we feel Israel has an interesting story to tell. We're not necessarily global leaders in it, but we certainly have something exciting to tell. We have a message about Israel, which is that it represents creative energy, creativity, innovation, multiculturalism. The different types of people that are in Israel are very, very interesting on a global scale. And so we just put into Google, open source, top 50, top 100 influencers in the field of beauty.
Okay.
And then we look for bloggers, Instagrammers, YouTubers, podcasters, anybody who is doing something interesting online that has a very large online following.
Can they reach out to you?
They have, yeah. We do have people reaching out to us.
I'm sure a lot of influencers, first of all, around the world are super interested in coming to visit Israel, let alone if, you know, if you're already doing a beauty tour around Israel, that they would be, you know, relevant.
I would say that we're not yet at the point that they're super interested in coming to visit Israel.
Okay.
We kind of almost introduced Israel to them. They know Israel in a kind of place somewhere in their mind that is associated with bad news.
Right.
But there's Jerusalem, there's Tel Aviv, there's certain other aspects of Israel that are very exciting and are very interesting. Gal Gadot, as an example, is making great branding for Israel.
She is.
My one hope is that the Israeli government doesn't ask her to become a brand ambassador, because
actually,
she is perfect as
you're doing what you're doing in the right way. Keep doing it.
Don't touch it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so, yeah, so we reach out, we send invitations to about 70 or 80 different influencers, and we invite them to come on a week-long, all-expenses-paid trip of Israel, which is all expenses paid. We don't pay them an appearance fee, but we do pay for everything else. Otherwise, why should they come?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just saying, wait, pause. That's awesome.
We'll let other countries know
yeah,
that you
I was
would
like,
like to
I
come.
think this is really cool. Yeah. So you guys are paying for everything, kind of just giving them the experience of Israel.
Yeah.
A type of birthright, if you will.
It's kind of like birthright, but it's not a cookie cutter.
Right.
And it's not for Jews. I mean, it is for Jews. If you are a Jewish influencer and you have a lot of followers, we will not say no.
Okay, of course, yeah.
But our main impact, mainly because we feel that when somebody non-Jewish says something positive about Israel, that impacts the Jews as well. But the other way around doesn't necessarily impact the non-Jews.
Right, because it seems a little biased, and we get it.
Exactly.
You guys are Jewish, you love the Holy Land, like we get it.
So we create, and we don't actually create content, we curate content. We believe that Israel really has everything, and that we can pick and choose the really most exciting things that we feel will create content for them to write about and to share with their community.
Right. So where can people find you? Where can they look at your videos, look up your tours?
So we're on vibeisrael.com.
Okay.
We are also on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter, everywhere we need to be because we're in the social media world.
Right.
But
you guys have attacked all the social media platforms.
Pretty much, yeah. We're waiting for the next ones.
Yes.
We're waiting to see what they're all about.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Joanna, for coming in. I'm sure so many people are going to be very interested in looking at Vibe Israel, and that's part of the plan, no?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. So whether you're a social media influencer looking to get involved or want to see and learn more about the Holy Land, make sure to check out the Vibe Israel Facebook page and website for all. Next up on today's show, we're taking you back to our sit-down with the creative and unique headwear designer that's taking Tel Aviv by storm, Danielle Mazzini. Okay, so let's be honest for a sec. I always figured hats were an optional accessory to have in your closet. Well, I'm clearly mistaken because my next guest with me in the studio is a designer for just that, headwear. Here to tell us more about the headwear trend and how she got started designing this very niche brand is Danielle Mazzini. How are you?
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So why don't we first start with how you got involved in the fashion world?
So I started from a young age. I actually left school at the age of 16, and I went to study fashion at the Fashion University, London College of Fashion. For 5 years, I studied clothing, women's wear, and marketing.
So you started out studying fashion, right? So how did that lead to designing headwear?
Right. So my background was clothing and women's wear for many years. And then as a child, I would always try on my mom's hat, my grandmother's hats. Any shop I went into, I would, put on the hats. And then actually at the time of preparing my wedding in Israel, I decided I need to wear a hat for the synagogue. I'm from London, and in London, you always go to synagogue or a special occasion with a hat, you dress up.
Right, everybody in London dresses up. Like, it's not like here where you'll go with jeans and a shirt, a white shirt.
Exactly.
Like, they wear hats there.
Yeah, you wear hats, you wear heels, you really accessorize well.
Right.
And, I said, it's my time. And in London...
It's my wedding.
Yeah, it's my wedding. And in London, you would always wear a hat when you're married. And before that, you wouldn't wear a hat because then it shows...
I'm available. Like, you need to show that I'm here.
Exactly. So I'm now, preparing my wedding. I make myself my own hat. And everybody said, I got a lot of compliments. Everybody said, why don't you do this as a business? And I said, no, there's no market for it. There's no demand. We're in Israel. It's not London. But you'll be surprised. 2.5 years later, I'm here.
You're still here.
There's a market for it in Israel and abroad, and it's going great.
It's such a niche, brand, this, because you're not designing, baseball caps or hats or whatever. You're designing very specific headwear. What would you say your headwear is mainly used for?
So the reason why people are coming to me is because they're looking for something specific, something for a special occasion.
Exactly.
Whether it's a wedding, their daughter's wedding, their son's bar mitzvah, they need something specific that you can't find in the stores, and you can't find it, easily.
Right.
So they come to me, and we design together something that's very exclusive, very unique to match their outfit, and it's something that they don't wear every day. So they're not so used to it, and in the beginning they don't feel so comfortable because it's.
So people understand me when I say that wearing hats are you're taking a risk. You're starting an outfit off and you're accessorizing. I read on
it's an exciting risk.
It's an exciting risk if you do it right. But the thing is that you're designing, your hats aren't ones that you're going to be really taking off. It's part of your outfit when you're putting it on in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people wear it just for the chuppah of a wedding or, after synagogue, they'll take it off. But, a lot of the time, the clients, they're not so familiar with the product. So in the beginning, they're very overwhelmed. And, they think my products are very Kate Middleton or Meghan Markle style.
Very royal family type.
Yeah, very royal. And it's a bit overwhelming. But what I love the most is seeing that transition. They really try on the hats and they really get a feel of it and they really start to feel good. And for me, that's the best thing. Once you put on a hat, you automatically feel good.
Let's put on a hat.
Put on a hat. Go for it.
Am I doing this right?
Yeah. You did it exactly.
Oh, girl, get it.
Yeah.
That is what's up.
You take a hat. This is called actually a fascinator, this kind of style, and the style you're wearing. A fascinator is the term that is used for headwear. It's not a hat. It's not a headpiece. It's something that you wear for a special occasion.
It's literally like a little addition, like, you know, like brooches and stuff like that. Like you wear it. This is so cute. I love this. And this one is more specifically like a headband type, you know?
That one's on a headband. It can be on a headband or an elastic, depending on how people like it to sit on their heads and to sit with the hair.
So we were talking about before how you were nervous to start it here in Israel because you weren't sure, you know, if people would accept it as much or if people were really understanding. So what are some obstacles that you faced, especially having this niche of a like brand, you know?
For us, our biggest obstacle, to be honest, is the fabrics.
Yeah?
Yeah, our fabrics are expensive. We use very good quality fabrics, and you just can't buy the fabrics in Israel. It doesn't exist. Headwear, millinery is the term that you just can't find in Israel. So we have to go abroad. So we get all our fabrics from England, Europe, and the Philippines. Especially in the summer, we use, you know, cineme, which is made from abacaxi. And straw, and you know, these are very good quality fabrics.
Breathing so that it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah, and it's good quality. So you know, to get it in Israel is very hard, and for us, that's our biggest challenge. Yeah.
Okay, and so where can people find it? You know, where can people see your designs? Where can people contact you?
So of course they can contact us through social media, and then also we have a website. It's an e-commerce website. We ship worldwide.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
Yes, of course, all over. We're in 4 countries. We're in the States, in Canada, England, and in France.
Amazing.
And we also sell in 3 stores, 2 in Jerusalem and 1 in Tel Aviv on Dizengoff, Raphael.
Amazing.
And then also we have a showroom in Florentine.
Great. So people can contact you. They can get, you know, get to you, see your designs.
Yeah.
And amazing. I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see where you're going to be in 2 years from now with this headwear.
Thank you very much.
Well, you heard it and saw it here first. If you're looking for the perfect addition to an already stylish outfit, make sure to check out Danielle's website and Instagram to find the perfect accessory. All right, so next up on our Best Of episode is one of our regulars on the show, the one that brings us anything and everything on Israeli and international news, Noah Bonet. All right, if you keep up with Israel in style, you already know what's next. Here with the latest on Israeli and international news, my love, Noah Bonet.
Shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Everyone's already used to you by now.
Yes, I'm not a special guest anymore.
You're not
a regular
special
guest
anymore. But you're still my favorite. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Fashion Week in Tel Aviv?
Fashion Week, such a unique event into Tel Avivian Israeli fashion industry view. Right. Okay, so this year, the Fashion Week is happening right now as we speak. 3 days at Mitcham HaTachana, which is
the old train station for all of you for all of you internationals that don't speak Hebrew.
Sorry. So called in Hebrew Mitcham HaTachana, an old train station, like you said, very, very stylish. They did their like this entire, you know, they brought the runway and the great entry and everything, which is kind of like new and kind of nice. Right. I would like to have more an urban view, like in New York and London. So it's very synthetic in some way because it's a building that got renewed. And it's kind of vintagey. Yeah, the whole old train station, even like the area, you know, there's different bars and restaurants. They're all really family friendly. Right. Yeah. But this is a different scenery from last year. We talked, I don't know, last week too. I don't remember when you were here. When we talked about Tel Aviv Gindi Fashion Week, where it was in the, you know, Gindi Fashion Week when it was under construction. So like we don't have an actual concept this year. So this year, you know, the agenda is that all women are beautiful. There's a lot of talking. Like I think it's a, you know, a backlash from, you know, for the Me Too, Time's Up movement. Right. This is like the Israeli take on it. Yes. Okay. So with the Gideon Aberson show, he had a lot of models who weren't your typical, you know, they were, let's say, above 40. Yeah, right? Most of them were a lot above 40, and I really appreciate that step that he made because it's kind of saying in that way that, hey, this is my audience. I'm appreciating my audience, and I want my audience to feel beautiful because why would I have 16-year-olds modeling my clothes if you're not going to be wearing them? You can see all over the world so many brands that have models that are not suited for the audience because they want to sell some kind of dream, and people that don't look like that. Definitely. So one of the shows that had a really cool and nice agenda that I really liked, and I didn't like the way it was kind of made, was 24/7, which is a big commercial company. Whoever knows a little bit about the Israeli brands, you got Castro, you got Renoir, and you got 24/7. It's basically mainly for girls. Most of their presenters and main models are teenage girls. Teenage or mid-20s. Yeah, something like that. Tweens, like more of a tweens. And they did the concept, they brought young girls
you
that
could see here.
there are not models. They brought something like 180 girls on the runway. And, you know, to see that beauty is in all shapes and all sizes and all hairs and all skins.
But I have to talk to you about Alon Livne. He's one of Israel's most, you know,
well-known
designers to come out of this country, and he's really famous in the States, specifically New York. Here is part of his collection. How do you feel about that?
Actually, I really like the stuff and I really like the vibe because it's more me, it's more niche, it's more what I like. I like streetwear, I like latex and all these kinds of like piercings and such. But it's kind of like Moschino did like I don't know how many collections ago. It's not something new. It's new in Israel because Israel can be sometimes really conservative, not because of religion, because of, you know, the mainstream here. You know, we're a small country, and there's a small amount of people. So, like, the niche is like a little % of the population. There's no actual crowd for this kind of outfits.
I really 100% agree. Specifically, Alon Livne, he was the most talked about designer at Fashion Week specifically, along with Bananhot, but that's a little bit more bathing suits. It's less, in my opinion, you know, crazy runway fashion right now.
It's more
you know,
mainstream.
Right. So I did like his presentation. I thought that it was cool. Yeah, this outfit I really like. You know,
there's an amazing presentation. This is an international presentation.
This is
that
beautiful.
Piece is beautiful. You can see like there's a show. That's an actual
Definitely.
show. You're not just showing clothes. There's like a creative thought between every, you know, there's a connection between the piercing, between the hair, between the
belts, the hoops, every
everything.
accessory that they're doing.
But it's new in Israel. It's not new international. And what the Israeli Fashion Week have to realize that if we want to be a part of an international community, we gotta step things up.
You could have done it in a much more creative way, really stepped out of the box, especially with this kind of brand. So I guess we're just gonna have to hope for next year's a little bit more surprising.
Yeah, but I have to mention that there were two shows that I like. I liked Rima Romano, which she closed her shop and her brand. She did like there's sort of like debut, like, you know, like a really cool show that you show her abilities. She did it with a commercial partnership with Reebok. And also Vivi Blanche that just like opened the entire gala at the first day. It was really cool. There's a lot of celebrities and his gowns are like
drop dead gorgeous. Obsessed. I'm in love, and I think that those are actually.
I want to get married.
So those are fashion, in my opinion. I really loved it, and thank you. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
And so to wrap up this episode of Israel in Style, I'm taking us back to our interview with the king of Tel Aviv Tours, the one that can show you all the ins and outs of the city that never sleeps, Avital Gover. Last but most definitely not least here on the show, we have a man who you guys may recognize. He's helped me tour around Tel Aviv once before to see the hottest street art and graffiti around, and that's not all he has to offer. So here with me is Avital Gover, the founder of Tel Aviv Tours.
Hi.
Hi, Avital. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm so excited that you're here. You know, we've done a lot of things together, a lot of tours together. You've also worked with Natalie from Cruising Israel. So why don't you just tell all those people that don't know how you got involved in tours and here specifically in Tel Aviv?
Well, first of all, thank you for the warm introduction.
The king of tours.
I would have settled for Prince, but I'll take king every day.
The king.
Yes. Well, actually, I kind of remember the precise moment where I came up with the idea. I was traveling in Thailand, and I got to this island, Koh Tao, and I went on one evening on the pub crawl over there, and I was like, oh my God, I found it.
Genius.
I know. We have to do this. We have to have it in Tel Aviv. It will be perfect. I understood that right then and there. I took kind of my personal life experience and skills. I put them all together, and I came back to Israel, and very soon after that, I was running with the tours already.
Amazing. So, like I said before, you do a street art and graffiti tour around Nachalat Benyamin. You do pub crawls. What other tours can we see? What other tours do you have to offer with us?
Well, our flag tour, and something that's very special to our company, I established about 3.5 years ago, 100% vegan culinary tour.
Amazing. We are the capital here, vegan capital. We have a lot of restaurants, a lot of people that are, you know, eating vegan and staying like that, so it's necessary.
Absolutely. The vegan scene here is amazing. There's so much to see and eat, of course, and we're world leaders in that aspect. It kind of fits the concept of the business in which we try to highlight the topics that Israel is the world leader in. nightlife, of course, the street art and contemporary art, and also the culinary world, and veganism specifically is huge here. We also do market tours, which is a big thing here, and we just started doing a street food, Mediterranean street food tour, which is going to be the next big thing for us.
Amazing. And are you working with Abraham Hostels, or are you working, you know, is it a collaboration with you guys? Can people go to the hostel and that's how they get to you? How does that work?
Well, we're external suppliers of Abraham Hostels, but we are very close with them. We are just as partners on the Tel Aviv Tours. We've been with them since they opened their branch in Tel Aviv, and we're very proud and happy with this amazing connection.
Right.
I have my company in which we supply the same tours to other travel agencies, of course, direct customers to come that come to us.
Yeah, because a lot of tourists, a lot of young people come to Abraham Hostel. They feel comfortable there, and then they have you to show them around the nightlife, the culinary scene, whatever it is that they need to be doing.
Yeah, the connection is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, we show Tel Aviv, we try to do it as a local and show the local point of view and take you to the places that you wouldn't normally get to yourself. So that's kind of the secret. If we're on the if we're on the bar tour, so we're going to skip lines. We're going to get the treatment as an Israeli. If I go and drink a beer in a bar, usually or sometimes I'll get a chaser next to my drink.
Exactly.
And that's what we try to bring to our guests.
Make it as local and as common as possible. So where can people find you? I'm coming from abroad and I'm looking to tour Tel Aviv like a true local. So
primarily we have our website, betelavivtours.com. Of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram. If you're lucky enough, maybe you'll encounter us on one of the tours, on the streets, on the side streets and alleys, on the markets.
You can't miss Evyatar. It's impossible.
Thank you.
Impossible.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
So thank you so much for coming in. I'm sure so many people are going to be so eager that this is an opportunity for them to come and see Tel Aviv like a true local.
It was a pleasure today to be here. Thank you. I love your show.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again on my show.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that's all for today's throwback episode of Israel in Style. If you missed any of these episodes and want to catch up, go check us out on iltv.tv/Israel in Style and keep up. Thanks for watching and see you next time.